ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः आग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मेवतेन गन्तव्यम्.
Savitri, Book 2, The Book of the Traveler of the Worlds, Canto 4, The Kingdoms of the Little Life, page 144. The narrow horizon of their days was filled with things and creatures that could help and hurt. The world's values hung upon their little self, isolated, cramped in the vast unknown, to save their small lives from surrounding death. They made a tiny circle of defense against the siege of the huge universe. They preyed upon the world and were its prey, but never dreamed to conquer and be free. Obeying the world power's hints and firm taboos, a scanty part they drew from her rich store. There was no conscious code and no life plan. The patterns of thinking of a little group fixed a traditional behavior's law. Ignorant of soul save a breath within, tied to a mechanism of unchanging lives, and to a dull usual sense and feelings beat, they turned in grooves of animal desire. In walls of stone fenced round, they worked and warred, did by abandoned selfishness a small good, or wrought a dreadful wrong and cruel pain on sentient lives, and thought they did no ill. Ardent from the sack of happy, peaceful homes, and gorged with slaughter, plunder, rape, and fire, they made of human cells their helpless prey. A drove of captives led to lifelong awe or torture, a spectacle made an holiday, mocking or thrilled by their torn victims' pangs, admiring themselves as titans and gods. Proudly they sang their high and glorious deeds and praised their victory and their splendid force. An animal in the instinctive herd, pushed by life impulses, forced by common needs, each in his own kind saw his ego's glass. All serve the aim and action of the pack. Those, like himself, by blood or custom kin, to him were parts of his life, his adjunct selves, his personal nebulas, constituent stars, satellite companions of his solar eye. A master of his life's environment, a leader of a huddled human mass, herding for safety on a dangerous earth, he gathered them round him as if minor powers to make a common front against the world, or weak and soul on an indifferent earth as a fortress for his undefended heart, or else to heal his body's loneliness. In others than his kind, he sensed a foe, an alien unlike force to shun and fear, a stranger, an adversary to hate and slay. Or he lived as lives the solitary brute, at war with all he bore his single fate. Absorbed in the present act, the fleeting days, none thought to look beyond the hour's gains, or dreamed to make this earth a fairer world, or felt some touch divine surprise his heart. The gladness that the fugitive moment gave, the desire grasp, the bliss, the experience won, moment and speed and strength were joy enough, and bodily longings shared, and quarrel and play, and tears and laughter, and the need called love. In war and clasp, these life wants join the all life wrestlings of a divided unity, inflicting mutual grief and happiness in ignorance of the self for ever one. Arming its creatures with delight and hope, a half awakened nescience struggled there to know by sight and touch the outside of things. Instinct was formed in memory's crowded sleep. The past lived on as in a bottomless sea, inverting into half thought the quickened sense she felt around for truth, with fumbling hands clutched to her the little she could reach and seize, and put aside in her subconscient cave. So must the dim being grow in light and force, and rise to his higher destiny at last. Look up to God and round at the universe, and learn by failure and progress, by fall and battle with environment and doom, by suffering, discover his deep soul, and by possession grow to his own vase. Halfway she stopped and found her path no more. Still nothing was achieved but to begin. Yet finish seemed the circle of her force. Only she had beaten out sparks of ignorance. Only the life could think, not the mind. Only the sense could feel, and not the soul. Only was lit some heat of the flame of life, some joy to be, some rapturous leaps of sense. All was an impetus of half conscious force, a spirit sparkling, drowned in dense life form, a vague self grasping at the shape of things. Behind all moved seeking for vessels to hold a first raw vintage of the grapes of God on earth's mud, a split of the supernal bliss intoxicating the stupefied soul and mind, a heady wine of rapture, dark and crude, dim, uncast yet into spiritual form, obscure, inhabitant of the world's blind core, an unborn Godhead's will, a mute desire.